Alright, this has to be the last take, I think. Welcome to Impromptu Monday, where I slack off and cook something completely ill-prepared for the first time. Today, we're making Tyler's bull from the movie The Menu, which we saw last night. So, as the film described it, the dish consists of 3 things. Undercooked lamb, inedible shallot leek butter sauce, utter lack of cohesion. Well, we're 33.33% there already. Alright, so now I rewatched the film just before filming and he didn't get to use any seasonings. So no salt, no black pepper. I thought we could bend the rules a tiny bit just by using salted butter. Otherwise, we're just gonna use 2 racks of lamb, Frenched, shallots, leeks, salted butter. First, let's cook the lamb. Since he was cooking in a very fancy kitchen, I thought we'll just render the fat, butter baste it a bit to introduce a bit of salt, and then cook it sous vide at 57 degrees Celsius. That's the easy part, I suppose. To help the fat render, we're just gonna take a paring knife and score. You don't want to cut through, but honestly, it's not the end of the world if you do. Come on, unless you're cooking for your life, then don't cut through. Okay, good enough for me. Because butter has such a low smoke point, I would much rather add the lamb to a cold-ish pan and let its fat render first, and then butter baste it at the very end, or towards the end. So, cold pan, I'm not even joking. We slowly bring some heat into it, and soon the fat will start rendering out, it will brown, and then we butter baste it and then it goes into the sous vide oven. I think to make the shallots and leek sauce, what I want to do is to have some theatrics. So we are going to make a bed with the green part, just for presentation's sake. We're gonna slice some of the white parts thin and somehow incorporate some hot oil on top at the very end. Whatever we don't use, we'll cook them on the griddle just for some extra garnish. But first, we clean the leeks, we save the green part for garnish, and now let's cut some leeks. And we're simply gonna slice them julienne. I think that's a good amount. And the same goes for the shallots. Just because we're doing the film version, we'll of course pick out the beautiful bits for the crazy chef. We definitely don't have to do this at home. Okay, now we have the shallots. And I genuinely wonder, with leeks, whether they'll curl up like scallions with cold water. So I think we find out. Now, as you can see here, the lamb has rendered out quite a lot of fat. And the browning has really started. So, we cook the other side. You don't have to stand them up like this, it's just my OCD kicking in. Quite beautiful though, huh? Like this. Yeah. And, as promised, we're not using salt, so salted butter. That's basically all we have in terms of seasoning. So we'll be a bit generous, just for the sake of flavor. We might as well add some shallots. Shallots for seasoning, for flavor, beautiful. Maybe a bit of leeks, because why not? Probably introduce a bit of sweetness from both. And you're just literally bathing your lamb in the melted butter. Stove off. If your oven's big enough for this, you can put the whole thing in. And of course, all the buttery goodness, which also contains all the salt we have. Because we're at the Hawthorne, I'm sure they would have a probe that is appropriate for the occasion. We go to the thickest part, halfway through. Now, this thing goes into the combi oven. While we do that, we'll griddle some leeks. These stovetop griddles, they mimic the browning of a barbecue, but without offering the smokiness or any of the good features from a barbecue. So it's mainly for the aesthetics, but for us cooking from the menu, I would never use that because you get less Maillard reaction, less browning, less meaty flavors. But it looks good. So probably thick-ish medallions. All right, that's fine dining enough for me. Hot pan. We find the sweet spot for the griddle mark. For the garnish. You're not going to eat them, by the way. So it doesn't really matter how thin, how thick. I would still wash them. All right, the sizzle has stopped. This time I've learned my lesson, so I will not use my bare hands. We are going, well, beautiful, huh? Beautiful-ish. The small ones are uglier, I realized. What can you do? Is this good enough for Julian? I don't think so. On camera, I'm going to eat all of them, of course. I'm not crazy, like Julian. Oh, by the way, leeks do not curl up like scallions. It was worth a shot though. It's plating time, huh? Our lamb has been cooked to 57 Celsius. That's perfectly medium rare for my liking. Could I have browned it a bit more? Definitely. But hey, it is Impromptu Monday. Now, I think we make Julian's house. The lambs go straight in the middle. And we serve up some of the better looking leeks. They look like coins. And now, as promised, we need the theatric for the sauce. So, I'm going to add some shallots. This is kind of like my steamed fish. This is the ginger. Normally, I would pour hot oil on top. Vegetable oil, peanut oil. But because butter has a very low smoke point, unless we want to garnish with burnt noisette, we can't really do that. So I thought, for some theatric, we'll try something new and see if it works. Of course, for the presentation, for those of you who have watched the film, you know why. For those of you who have not, I did promise no spoiler, did I? I have a mic here, so I did not think this through, but what we're gonna do, instead of pouring hot oil on top, we're gonna add a knob of butter here, a bit more here, and then of course, we're gonna use a blowtorch to introduce the wonderful aromas of the propane gas into this bullshit dish. Ready? And there you have it. Welcome to Impromptu Monday. Tyler's bullshit, my way. I hope you enjoy, but don't try to make it at home, please. Now we can have a burger.